The great actor and producer Wendell Pierce is here with me. We have coffee and muffins, and I have so much to talk to you about. You had a really idyllic childhood in New Orleans, and I think it's kind of in the fabric of your DNA. Am I right? Tell me what it was like.
My parents, they took something that was ugly and troubled times of segregation and all of that. They created a community. They fought back in the civil rights movement to have access. My father came back from World War II to have access to the new burgeoning subdivisions. And part of that advocacy created Pontchartrain Park, which was the first place where African Americans could purchase a home in post-World War II New Orleans against all the segregation covenants and all. And in the middle of it was this golf course, 1,000 homes, multi-denominational churches. Southern University at New Orleans was a historic black college, and it was a beautiful place to grow up. And it became an incubator for talent. Terrence Blanchard, the great jazz trumpeter player.
It's stunning, isn't it?
I grew up with, and our first black mayor came out of our neighborhood, our first black district attorney.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. How did it feel to get the nomination for a Tony for Death of a Salesman?
I played Willie Loman. It was humbling. I cried like a baby.
Oh.
And the reason was, I was a part of such a small group of men who had played Willie Loman on Broadway and got that honor. To be offered that role is one of the greatest in the canon, right? It's an American Hamlet.
So what did you find in that role to connect with?
My personal experience, the fear of, are my best days behind me? A man not achieving what he sets out to achieve, and the fear of being a middle-aged man wondering if I have added up to anything.
We all have that, don't we?
Yeah, and that's why that role speaks to so many people. And my father was there opening night, and I just lost my father.
I know, I'm sorry.
And to have him there that night, I took a point of personal privilege and gave him a memento. He had given me love and time, and I had a watch made.
You're gonna make me cry.
Presented that to my father. Oh. He was 97 years old.
Yeah, wow. That's an incredible story. What's the thing you're most proud of, both personal and professional?
Personal, I haven't gotten there yet. Yeah.
I was thinking you after Katrina, you went back to Pontchartrain Park.
Katrina destroyed everything.
Yeah.
And there was threats of like not bringing the neighborhood back.
Oh.
And it was like, I said, I'll be damned if I let this neighborhood be destroyed. And so they said, use your platform and your advocacy. And so I went back home and we put together a resident-initiated redevelopment, one of the only ones in New Orleans, and rebuilt our neighborhood brick by brick, house by house, block by block, and now it is on the National Register of Historic Places. And so
what an incredible accomplishment.
Now it can't be taken away.
Yeah, that's good. That's right, now it can't be taken away.
No, it can't be
And you did something wild in the middle of all this. You opened grocery stores.
So I started to notice that there were food deserts. You know, the grocery stores weren't coming back. So I made an effort to open a grocery store. We lasted about 2 years.
It's a tough business, isn't it?
Oh, it's the toughest of business.
I can tell you.
Oh.
Man,
the margin is so small.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this happened in your store, but it's something about grocery stores. I hate to say this, but people don't think they're stealing in grocery stores.
I don't
when they do
understand
steal, right?
Yeah.
They go, well, I bought $100 worth of groceries, so
I'm just gonna
I can take this and this and this, you know, like lagniappe. This is something extra. The other thing is, I feel bad. I never do this in grocery stores. Every time, that little taste, if you get a couple of thousand people taking that one little grape, you know, cannot tell you how many grapes and bananas and produce and vegetables go from just tasting. You go, hey, we gave you a tasting station over there. Taste that, right? Man, and that adds up in the margin of 2% in the grocery store, as you know. But it was a great 2 years.
One of her greatest roles was in The Wire, playing Detective Bunk Moreland. How did you prepare for that role?
I prepared with the Western Division of the Baltimore Police Department, the detectives there. Detectives are students of human behavior, like actors. So I became immersed in it, really enjoying how they were studying other people.
Have you ever had any feedback from real detectives about The Wire?
Yeah, during the taping of The Wire, we had a federal officer visit us, and he said he had a wire tap. You know, he was doing a real wiretap. He said these guys were talking all the time, and then it would go silent at a particular time on Sundays. And then one time, the silence was broken. Someone called, and the guy picked up the phone. He says, "What did I tell you? Don't you ever call me when I'm watching The Wire." And he hung up the phone.
Oh.
So on that, he said, "I wish I could bring the tape to you." The other thing that happened was the show was so popular, NYPD called HBO and said, "You're killing us.
'Cause you're
These
teaching
kids are learning from The Wire." All of a sudden, burner phones in New York went through the roof because burner phones are when you buy a whole bunch of cellular phones and just use them one time and toss
throw
them.
'em out.
Yeah, and
That's amazing.
how do you know
That's
about that? I know that.
life imitating art. Wow. You've played so many amazing roles, and now you get to play a part in Superman.
I
You're
am
the-
Perry White, and when it was announced I was in Superman, I heard from people all over the world, literally all over the world, from London, from New Orleans, from Uganda. You're in Superman. I did not know that these comic book franchises were
Huge.
as popular as they are. The announcement is probably bigger than the role, right? It's going to be fun to do, yeah.
So do you want to cook with me?
I would love to cook with
I
you.
think it'd be really great fun. So how about if we make a summer skillet with clams, sausage, and corn?
Ooh.
Does that sound good? All in
I
one
love
skillet.
seafood. I
Oh,
love
good.
seafood.
Okay, pick the right thing.
You picked the right thing.
Let's go cook.